It turns out you started at age 7. Is
At age 7.
How long before that did you know, I think in New York, that you were a funny gal?
Well, you know, actually, that's a daily process. Like, you're not funny. Yes, I am funny. No, I'm not funny. Oh, I go on stage. That wasn't funny. And then somebody said, "You were really funny." I go, "Yeah, I am. Incredible." When I was 7, I got my father was a comedian and started out in Havana. He just he was a real plucky guy. He just jumped on stage, started telling jokes, got hired, and that's how he did it. And he presented shows. So when I was growing up, I was the only child that my parents would ever have together. And I hung out with them backstage in these Spanish variety shows. And I loved the way my father could make people laugh and how they loved him for that. My mother was a dancer, and I can't dance. I'm a Latina who can't dance. We're a very small minority. So I went with the comedy, and it was always, you know, in school I just was into theater and creative writing, and always watched comics on TV. Loved Phyllis Diller, you know, Jackie Mason. Loved all those comics, and then later, you know, in San Francisco, learned about George Carlin and all that. You know, got those old albums. Yeah. So yeah, loved it.
Well, as a kid, admiring your father being so funny, making people laugh, did you, in some way, in a kid-like way, analyze what he was doing that caused people to love it so?
Well, my dad would tell me what he was doing, and you know, he just was very, very confident. And even when he, you know, maybe when he had doubts or when his career wasn't going so well, he'd go up on that stage like he was $1 million and everything that, you know, people were in the right place at the right time, and he just made people feel like it was funny, even if it wasn't. Because really now when I look, because I actually have some of his material, when he passed away, you know, I just got some of his scripts and bits and stuff. It's like, well, that wasn't really that funny, but a lot of things aren't that funny. You know, you just sell them.
That's right.
So I think that's really what that's what I still try to learn, how to sell a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead a few years to San Francisco, and you're at the other cafe on stage in the Haight-Ashbury.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first night, the first set, the first laugh?
I remember the first night and the first set, but that wasn't the first laugh. The first laugh came after the third time.
After you asked the owner for a shot, probably.
Well, the owner. I would, the first time I went on, it's a story of everybody who started out. We would always get put on last. There would always be, and that's not those of us who were struggling to get on at the other cafe, because we would go on, it was a Monday and a Tuesday night. Those were the audition nights. And the joke was, what are we auditioning for? Because it was an open mic, but they called it audition to make it classy. So you would call up, I think, by 3 o'clock Monday, and then you'd call back to see if you got on the list to actually perform. And you could, you know, if you were lucky enough, you'd get on the list, and if you were really lucky, you'd get on early. Because what you didn't want to do is go on after Paula Poundstone, you know, who'd show up and do a long set where everybody just felt, okay, that is my night of entertainment.
Yes.
I'm set, and then they all leave. Right. And then the rest of us who were just getting started, we would play basically to tables and chairs, which is good training if you're going to be a cabinet maker.
Right.